Be careful about whose offense you're willing to take on for yourself. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, Day 2 of Qorach. We are going to continue reading from where we left off yesterday, and that's in chapter 16 of Bamidbar, or Numbers, verse 4. And when Moshe heard, he fell on his face and spoke to Qorach and all his company, saying, Tomorrow morning Yahweh shall make known who is his and who is set apart, and bring him near to him. And let him bring near to him the one whom he chooses. We'll leave off right there. Yesterday we were talking about the initial part of Qorach's identity and the role that he wanted to have and his potential offense. He solicits a group of Confederates, a company of Confederates, if you will, to stand alongside. And it's interesting that Qorach's family, the Kohathites, they camped on the south side of the Mishkan, the tabernacle. And there with them in near proximity was the tribe of Reuben. The two men that he initially took, the word there is lakach, to seize, to capture, to captivate, to lay hold of, to perceive, take with captivating charms. He took them. He captured their minds. He captured their focus. He captured their attention with an argument about we have been offended. Not just himself, but we have. So what would Dathan and Aviram have to be upset about? Well, as Reubenites, Reuben was the initial first son of Yaakov. And they were overlooked in everything. They were just kind of descending order along the distribution of territories and privileges, etc. So he rubbed salt in a wound that maybe they hadn't thought about for a while. Those who nurse their offenses do a couple of things, and I'm speaking in generalities here, but I've seen it multiple times. One is they will enlarge their offense. What may have been initially something very small will become large. The more they talk about it, the more offended they become, the more emotionally attached to the offense they become, and the more the need of affirmation and acceptance about the offense becomes. Secondly, once the offense has been announced and promoted, generally speaking, a person is not going to back down from it. They have thrown down the gauntlet, so to speak, drawn a line in the sand, and they're just not going to back down, because to do so would be to determine that their offense is illegitimate, nonsensical, unworthy of attention, and that they were just wrong. Well, telling someone who is nursing an offense that they're wrong it's a futile endeavor. You're not going to get very far with that. But then number 3, they are going to find those that will agree with them. They're going to promote their case. They're going to carry this mailbag of hurts and so forth until somebody begins to say, you poor thing, you're right. I see what you're saying. Herein is where it's dangerous. Many of us came out of denominations and groups and systems where we carried out an offense. Someone taught us wrong doctrine. People over there are not celebrating the right holidays. People over there don't do the right Shabbat. They're eating unclean food. They didn't tell us the truth about stuff. and we were lied to, we were deceived, and it's, and on and on and on the list goes. No need to rehearse all of that. While parts and sums of that may actually be the truth, it doesn't have to be a continual ride of offense. At some point, we need to stop promoting why we're mad and start promoting why we're happy and glad about things. Those that are courting others about their offense rarely are joyful people. You don't hear them laugh and rejoice very much unless it's in the company of their confederates. The other thing you'll find then is such a group begins to be tagged as such. Stay away from that group. They're just a bunch of misfits that are angry and upset about everything, and they're only going to draw you into their arguments. I've seen this again and again and again, and not just in my own groups or in my own personal leadership, but just standing and looking and watching, and you see how things began to build. You can build a website based on offense, and you'll get thousands of adherents. You can go on YouTube and promote your videos, and everybody will listen. Because we seem to be, at least within the Hebraic roots community and family, drawn to the upset, drawn to the cause. I think it's time that we get beyond all of that. What was being promoted here was the redistribution of authority and significance, which basically amounts to class warfare. The redistribution of authority. So people came out of wherever it was that they were, and they were upset about whatever the leadership style and presentation was. And they've determined we don't accept leaders any longer. Well, if you would then read Ezekiel chapter 34, you'll find that the sheep are without a shepherd, and they wander on all of the high hills and mountains, and they become prey. Yah's model for leadership is a shepherd and servant-hearted leadership model. And he does raise up people to function in that role. It is not a job without its points that are positive. It's a good role to play in, to work in, to serve in. It has its pitfalls. It has its moments of frustrations and issues. But that's life. That's in any role of leadership has challenges, and it takes a quality leader to rise up, meet them, and work through them. And that's not by beating people over the head, it's by leading people through. The redistribution of authority, if it's not according to Yah's design, apostles and prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers, if it's not through eldership and leadership within the community, then it's faulty and it's going to fail and it's going to hurt people. And when we're talking about significance, it is human nature to want your name known and for people to recognize you and even to have some applause. That's human nature. The servant of the Most High who serves the sheep is the one who lays down his life for the sheep. And if he is recognized or they are recognized for the role of their service, well and good, but that's not what they are doing it for. It is to serve the king. We're talking about class warfare. Within the body of Messiah, there are those whose names are known and there are those whose names are not known. But on that day, when we stand before him and our lives are demanded, we are demanded to give an account for our lives, it won't matter whether your name was known or unknown. We will be qualified and judged according to that which was entrusted to us. And therein is where we need to be accountable. All of us will stand on level ground that day. Until then, May Yah empower us to stand tall for the righteousness in the name of Yeshua. And forget the class warfare stuff. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, shalom.